Yeah, I mean, like I told you, I sat behind a desk for 2 weeks. Said, I don't think I can do this forever. So I have to do something either creative, or I was going to do something more on the outdoors side. Even be a park manager or something like that. I just didn't want to be in a building. But I am in a building, but at least has a door to the farm, yeah. No, you're always creating every day. So, I mean, that's what I'm most proud of, that I got a career that I could create something cool every day.
And that was Aaron from Lookout Farm on this week's episode of Brew Roots.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brew Roots, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me, as always, is Erica and Matt.
What up?
Hey, what's up?
We are pumpkin wasted right now, Erica and I.
We are drinking that pumpkin.
That's right, from Southern Tier.
I refuse to drink it. I'm drinking Night Shift's Fest beer.
Oh, no. I mean, it's my once-a-year pumpkin beer, which kind of rhymes.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. I did it. I've been thinking about that actually all day.
I believe that.
I was like, once a year pumpkin beer. Perfect. We trademarked.
Nailed it.
Yep. Done and done.
I distinctly remembering last year's being a little bit better than this year's. But
I feel like it's making that shit up.
yeah, I don't know. I like this one. I specifically like this one with vanilla vodka. Believe it or not.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Now, rim or no rim?
I'll tell you, I do a rim.
Yeah.
But I do a rim a little bit different.
Oh.
So instead of the simple syrup around the glass with the
Cinnamon,
nutmeg and cinnamon,
sugar, whatever's on it.
I do caramel.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I'm pretty sure he mentioned this last year, and
I
we
did.
were both blown away.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's probably true.
I do caramel. I do
Oh,
caramel.
wow.
Yeah, this new thing called caramel. I do caramel with cinnamon, sugar, and nutmeg.
That sounds good. That sounds actually really, really nice.
I
Maybe.
wish I could say that I invented it. I did not. I got it at a restaurant. I don't remember what restaurant, but it's wonderful. With that shot of vanilla Stoli.
That's
Fuck
a
me up,
solid,
fam.
Yeah.
Fuck me up,
solid
fam.
drink.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, I mean, there's a whole comprehensive list of local breweries.
Yeah.
Thanks to our friends, the Mass Brew Bros.
Thanks, you guys.
Who are featuring pretty much every local brewery that has a pumpkin beer. And
It's a long list. There's a ton on there.
I was shocked to see that Treehouse has a pumpkin beer.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, you're telling me. I was
Well, I
like,
wonder if it's of course the question is always with these pumpkin beers, are they cinnamon spice pumpkin beers, or is it just pumpkin, which is like actually just a pretty chill ale?
yeah. So for the Treehouse one, let me tell you in 1 second. But I know I saw like Night Shifts. I went to a local liquor store and I saw
The night shift
a
one
bunch
looks
of
intense.
yeah. That one does. We were talking about that earlier. The Night Shift one is maple syrup.
It's
Lactose.
pumpkin pie scraper.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So let me look up that Treehouse one real quick
You
for
do
our
that.
listeners. Yeah, the Treehouse one is, and even Mass Brew Bros are like, yes, Treehouse has made a pumpkin beer. It's an imperial milk stout with pumpkin and autumn spices.
Okay.
So
See, I kind of
I'm
like
sure people
pumpkin
will
and
wait in line
spices
for it.
in an imperial milk stout like that, or like in a stout kind of beer.
yep.
'Cause I think it balances that well.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
Not for me.
I mean,
We'll find one for you, Ryan.
Nope,
We
you
will.
never will. Remember that time we tried to do?
We didn't try pumpkin beers, so
yeah, but last year you had a good time at CBC's Pumpkin Festival.
yeah, he found at least one or two that he liked there.
I think there was one, and it wasn't really a pumpkin beer.
Exactly.
I think it was just like a fruited sour or like some mixed culture thing that Allagash brought. And I'm like, I'll just get this for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Well, lots of local breweries are doing it. It's a popular brand. It's a popular flavor variant.
It is a
and
seasonal style right now.
It's a seasonal. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a popular seasonal style.
Yeah, there you go.
And yeah, I mean, listen, I am not the biggest pumpkin beer drinker.
Same, but it's fall. It's just like, apple cider donuts and...
Seriously,
Or
to me,
you
it's
could
like
Just get a fest beer.
Or
which
you
you
could also
could.
get a fest beer. That's
which
cool too.
We are kind of getting into the last couple of weeks of Oktoberfest. I know that our friends over at Night Shift are hosting their Oktoberfest this weekend.
Yep.
Brian's-
Brado's is next week.
That's right.
And
I'm
I
super
can't think of
sad.
anyone else's, but there's probably a couple more out there that are missing.
I don't
Yeah.
want it to end.
I know the beer has been awesome this year.
Yeah, this year's been really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to say,
It's because they've been given like the time to fully
That's
ferment.
true.
and
I didn't get to try notches, and I'm hoping I can swing by this weekend and try to get
Do it.
something.
Maybe leave one or two here just for fun.
Maybe.
maybe
We'll
we could
see.
take a ride after a rehearsal.
Ooh, rehearsal.
Yeah, Ryan and I are starting a metal band called Sound Guy. Yeah, follow us on SoundCloud.
Yeah, totally.
No, but I mean, yeah, all the beers that we've had, I think my favorite so far has been Sylvaticus's.
Yeah, that was
It's
a great
so
beer.
good. Honorable mention, not honorable mention, but like amazing otherwise is like Wormtown.
Tributary.
Totes.
I
Tributaries
think,
was really good too.
Yeah, I think Sylvaticus and Tributary was tied for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Liar's Bench made an awesome Stamish, and it was really, really good as well. And they're
What
up
is
in
a
Portland.
Stamish?
You know, I don't know, but I know
okay.
I know that our friend Jenna likes them, and she brewed one a couple years ago at a previous brewery.
Oh,
So.
well. We're going to have to just look that up then.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure it's
also-
some variety of region in Germany, and that's what
Totes.
they named it after.
Toes.
Anyone that's out there that knows and can correct us,
Inform us, please.
Please explain it to
Yep.
me like I'm two.
Yeah.
I was going to say the other fest beer I really liked that I had last weekend was from Oak and Iron.
Yeah, you've been Ryan's been trying a bunch of local breweries that we just haven't had a chance to go
Yep.
to.
Yeah, Oak and Iron slaps. Spigot River slaps.
You know, Ryan,
Great breweries.
His word choices blow my mind.
phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
right.
Truly.
We're gonna have to check out Spigot River and Oak and Iron
Absolutely.
together. It's close to Erica and it's close
Yeah.
for me after work, so maybe
Yeah.
we'll all go one night after
Yep.
work for me.
There you go.
Yeah. What about Pink Boots news? There's been so
Pink
much stuff going on,
Boots!
from the Paying It Forward to the Honey event, which admittingly I tried to join, and the service at my work, not that I was trying to do it at
tough.
work, I was trying to do it on my lunch break at work in the parking lot, and it just didn't happen. So
Yeah. It's not easy.
no.
Fucking technology, man.
Yeah.
But excuse me, I was able to log in and it was great. It was
Yeah.
really cool. Some really interesting honey samples
Yeah.
I never had before. Buckwheat and
I saw blood something, not blood.
no, it was something weird.
Was that
that-
meadow foam?
Yeah, it was meadow foam.
Yeah, I saw meadow foam and orange blossom.
Yeah, well, orange
honestly.
blossom's fairly common.
Yeah.
But yeah, the buckwheat and the meadow foam was just like crazy. It was so cool. The meadow foam was marshmallowy,
Cool.
which was really weird.
I wonder how many beers will be made from
So
meadow
cool.
foam.
Yeah,
coming
that's
up.
what we all
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about. Like, this is the honey of the year now.
Yep.
But then also just a bunch of like different beers coming out too. I know Sam Adams Boston and Faneuil Hall, they're re-releasing When There Are Nine.
That's a brute style.
Yeah, brute style IPA. And every 4-pack sold, they're going to donate $9 back to Pink Boots.
Which is crazy. $9.
Which is a crazy huge
Crazy.
amount. I
And
mean,
I-
I don't know how much the 4-pack itself is going to cost, but I can't imagine it's going to be anything crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, just when people
that's
like
awesome.
want to talk shit about Sam Adams, they do
They
something
do this.
rad, and you're like,
Boom.
can't talk shit about Sam Adams anymore. And it's hard to talk shit about them. I admit.
Yeah, and well, there's a thing, and I've said this before. It's a lot of people judge them on what they always see in the stores, right? Boston Lager,
Which is a
Sun
good
But it's
beer.
Red.
different
Stand
when
by
you
it, it's a
go
good beer.
to their Faneuil
Yeah,
Hall location, which
exactly.
is doing like small batch stuff, and
And
Unreal
it's-
stuff.
Megan Parisi's killing it there.
Yeah, it can compete neck to neck with some of the biggest breweries that you know. Like their
Like
beer
what?
is just like what?
Like what?
Oh,
Yeah.
it'll compete
Yeah.
with Trillium,
Ooh.
Treehouse. Like I'm not saying they always brew those styles of beer, but I'm saying the quality
No,
of those beers.
Totes.
Well, the quality of Sam Adams, they have endless pockets to
Yeah.
make sure that their quality is excellent.
They have
Yeah.
like 12 pocket pants.
Damn, cargo
That's a
pants.
lot of pockets.
Right?
Cargo pants with removable legs.
What?
But yeah, I mean, I've never had a bad beer from their tap room, and I'm standing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm super
They're-
stoked for this
you
new
just-
beer or
yeah.
re-release.
No,
to come out.
and the thing is like, I'm not here to say like Boston Lager is the best beer in the world, but it's a good
It's a great beer.
It's a good beer.
Yeah.
It's a great go-to beer.
Yeah, for sure. So we know what we've been drinking this week, but I am looking forward to a couple of releases coming out this week.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I know that Ciders is coming out with some new stuff, so make sure to stay up to date with Ciders because I've gone the last 3 weeks to get stuff from them.
Wow, Matt.
I know.
Good for you.
And people might start to think that they're sponsoring our podcast by the amount of beer that they released.
We've had a lot of posts about them.
Yeah,
recently,
they released an Italian style Pilsner.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
It was just unreal.
Are
Nice,
they
nice.
still to go only right
To
now?
go only, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super, super limited hours, 3 to 6, I
Yeah.
think, most days,
Ooh.
and 12 to 6 on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but that's what I remember being. And yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward. I think there's going to be a lot of good beer coming out.
Definitely.
Kind of what we were talking about 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I can't recall, where there's not a ton of room for innovation right now. So it's like we're really sticking by our styles and what we're good at right now. A lot of breweries are doing that, and I just feel like the beer quality has gone up
Absolutely.
so much. Some of the breweries
Agreed.
that I've been getting, like even like night shift stuff, like I'm admittingly not the biggest night shift fan, and I got a beer from them and I was like, holy shit, you guys did something different that is like awesome. So
Boom.
yeah, and it's great.
Yeah, this fest beer I'm drinking now is
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going up to Maine this weekend, so I'm
really?
pretty excited about that.
You
I have
going to
no
Portland?
idea. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do, but
Yeah, you should go to
Looking for
Allagash. I heard they're
suggestions.
pretty good.
Yeah?
But they don't have
Really?
any style IPAs.
oh damn! I don't know if I can make it. Though.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a brewed at one point?
A brute IPA?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Probably, but it's not a New England style. I
Yeah.
think.
No, not a hazy boy.
I
Because
can't
you
even
can go to
believe they-
all the breweries across the street and get all the hazy boys
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should go to Oxbow.
Yeah, I've never been in there actually.
You should definitely go.
There's a
That's
few
my
places.
opinion. So, yeah, I don't think we have much more. We have an awesome episode because it's like fall stuff right now. And
Yeah, and where else would you want to go but Lookout Farm?
that's true. Like, they have an awesome restaurant on site.
Call the Lookout.
Yeah.
They use a ton of their food, I think, that they grow right there at the farm.
They do.
It sounds amazing. I don't know if you follow their social media, but their Instagram is
Yes.
full of super awesome food shots. Well, and beer shots, but food shots that will make you drool.
And it's like, if you're looking for something fun to do, I mean, during quarantine, like,
Yeah, you
they
go.
are really, really, like, strict on their, like, socially distancing. And
Yeah, they're doing everything they
They
can
can.
and more. Yeah, you go and pick apples and then have yourself a little lunch or dinner.
yeah, and it's a good walk because I don't think they're doing their little trolleys right now.
No, they're
like,
not,
Get
yeah.
some exercise, drink some good beer, and like get some amazing food. I'm looking at their apple cider donuts.
Oh my god.
Like a creamsicle donut.
Yes.
Holy cow! All of this stuff just looks so
to
good.
die for.
Yep. Yeah. So maybe you'll see us at Lookout Farms this weekend, and if you do, say hi. But at a social distance because I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't really want to
Yeah.
get coronavirus.
Mask up, yo.
Yeah. So let's get on to the episode.
Cheers.
All right, so we are here in the Boston metro area. That's what we'll call this area, right? That's what it's called?
Yep.
Yes.
So Natick, Massachusetts, home of Lookout Farm.
Yep.
And I've had the pleasure of coming to your place a couple times. I've gone here before with my girlfriend because it's a perfect place to bring your significant other. It's beautiful, picturesque. And I went for the Harvest Fest last year, which is an awesome brew fest. And for someone who isn't the biggest fan of brew fests, this one's great because it's outdoors. You have some of the best breweries, honestly. I think you handpick them. I don't think it's just whoever wants to come. And great food, entertainment. So I can't say enough good things about Lookout Farm. So we are here today with Rich and Aaron from Lookout Farm. How are you guys?
Good.
Great, good.
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Thank you for doing this today. It's like you were mentioning, it looks like it's going to rain, but we're in this like spherical area that will not rain at Lookout Farm. It doesn't rain here, he said.
Yeah, we have like a rain protection, it seems.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
This is true.
So we always start our podcast by asking our guests what their first memory of beer is and their role at the brewery.
I would say high school was my first because I used to live in the Sturbridge area and I used to go to Yankee Spirits.
Cool.
And they used to have all this crazy German beer back then. So in high school, I'd be like the only guy at the party bringing like a dark, like Munich or something like that to a party. And they're like, what the heck heck is this stuff? Malt liquor. So, I mean, as far as like that's what got me into what I wanted to do as a career,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Excellent.
Mine was probably much younger, so I just remember sitting on the couch with like my dad as a kid watching baseball and having an Anchor Steam for the first time.
Yes.
Cool.
And it like
Yeah.
changed me. Yeah.
Great intro beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And roles at the brewery.
I do production and I'm our entire sales team.
Okay.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Busy.
And I'm head of production in the brewery and the cidery too.
Very, very cool. So you mentioned earlier, I always ask this question, having that beer, it was actually formative for you in deciding the career path. We hear countless times, someone having a Schlitz on the couch with their dad, and they're like, yeah, I went to graphic design, and then I figured out that I actually like beer.
Well, I did go to graphic design.
Oh, really?
there we go.
Funny story. Yeah. What was life before Lookout Farm?
So I started doing, I was in college for marketing, and then I started doing, like real estate jobs for that kind of thing. Hated it. Hated sitting behind a desk. Got an opportunity to do like a homebrew contest at Sam Adams years ago. I'm talking like late 80s. Did that. Thought it was cool. Made the worst beer in the world. It was this coffee crazy thing I made for it.
Did Jim get to try it?
I don't remember.
That's so nuts.
And then just never gave up on it. I worked various jobs up until then. I interned at Harpoon. They eventually hired me because they were just, kind of getting big at that point. And they were like, oh, we want a guy here to work on the weekends. We want a guy here to work on the holidays. So I'm like, I'll do it. No one else wanted to do it.
Yep.
So, went from there, worked there for a couple years. I ran Watch City for about 16 years.
Okay.
And then I took a break for a year, and they offered me the job here to be the head cider maker. And they said, do you know how to make cider? And I'm like, never made it. I go, I do know how to ferment stuff, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like, here's the thing. If we're going to make hard cider, it's going to be damn good because I want to drink it, especially if I'm used to making beer. So I'm like, we were building the cidery for like 6 or 8 months, and I did a couple of trial versions. I'd say about 43 versions of it. And
Holy cow. Just a couple.
Nice.
And, they were pretty happy with the results. I was super happy with the results. And we knew we at least had something going forward once we were ready to launch. And, so we started, I think it was September of 2014. And then we finally got the brewery in production at March, maybe late February of 2015. It's about 6 months.
Yeah. That's very fast for a brewery. We hear horror stories.
Yes. Well, you were already a farm at that point.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
So it was really just.
Yeah, I was the
build
first. I was
this
the first
and-
employee. So I was basically this tap room wasn't even. It was full of restaurant equipment and supermarket equipment.
Yeah, it was a
'Cause they-
store.
yeah, they used to have a
Market.
store
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we basically gutted it all out. You saw when you came in here, we have the gorgeous bar there. That is now a storage area.
Oh. Yeah.
Rich, before we get to you, I'm just curious, was that a cool feeling to kind of build a brewery out? I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
totally. I mean, when I say build it out, that room you guys came in up there, that was all cold storage. So there was nothing in that whole building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah.
I came to beer much differently, so I actually have
Right.
a lot of past in retail management, restaurant management, and that's what I did for years. And then, I want to say about 3 years ago, my brother, Will, who is the assistant here as well, he was working at a place called Barley Corns in Natick. That was
Okay.
the brew on
Yep.
premise joint.
Yep. Heard of them.
So they brought him in as the assistant. They just needed help packaging one day, and it turned into a one day to, you need to quit your job and come and work for us. And here I am 3 years later doing the same thing. Yeah, but
That's
I love
awesome.
it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Can you talk about Lookout Farm before the brewery was here? How much do you guys know about Lookout Farm before?
I mean, it's since 1651.
Yeah.
We're one of the
Wow.
oldest continually operating farms in the entire country.
In the entire country.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Yep.
So before the Belkin family owns it now, and they've owned it for what I want to say about 14 or 15 years now. Before that, Les Marino owned it, and I don't know the history there.
Big dig guy.
Yeah, the big dig guy. I know
Oh,
that. Yeah, he
right,
was
right,
involved
right.
in that.
Cool.
Wow.
And then I know that when he had it, there was a lot more. It was a lot more animals and stuff. It was much different. And now it's become a lot more focused on the fruit orchard and then the sustainability and keeping it a fruit orchard in an area where obviously land value is high.
Do you still have piggies and things here?
No, we have animals. We used to have animals up in the kids' play area, where they
Yeah.
but we get them from another.
From the southwest,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
You mentioned sustainability. I'd love to talk about that a little bit. I know that you guys are solar powered here.
Yep.
But what else are you guys doing to maintain sustainability for the brewing operation? Because that can be not as sustainable as.
I mean, with all the power and equipment that we have in there, that is run off the solar. It's run off VFD drives, so
Nice.
they definitely help, keep the power consumption low. Where the lights are all LED motion activated, so that kind of helps too, or low, what do you call it, voltage halogen stuff. There's talks about even doing like a cistern to have the water that we come out to use to, irrigate the crops here, but that's a big project and a lot of finance for that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone wants to be super sustainable, but it's like you're still within your own means as far as like, can you use everything or reuse everything? We compost all our grain on the farm, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. You guys are a fully functioning farm. I mean, I see peaches, I see apples. I'm assuming your peaches, your apples are being used in the cider and the beer that is being made here, correct?
Yes, so we just made we made strawberry fields this year with about 800 pounds of strawberry.
800 pounds
Wow.
of strawberries in it.
Wow.
A lot of strawberries.
And then we just did pumpkin. You guys get to try that up there. That was
It's
about
fantastic.
1,300 pounds of pumpkins.
Nice.
And we'll be doing another batch of that soon because that will be gone in like no time.
Yeah.
We've done peaches. We did a peach collaboration with Jack's Abbey last year. So we did
Yeah.
peaches and cream.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that beer.
We've done, let's see. I mean, ciders, we've used every apple. We grow heirloom apples here too. So we have a variety that we can try in a minute. It's called Rose 7. And it's exclusively heirloom apples. So these are apples that were, hundreds of years old that were never like really used for anything but cider. So they're very hard to eat. A lot of tannins in them. A lot of good acids that you want in there, like a good wine grape.
No, I was going to say, so going back to cider making, again, you said you started out making beer. Any tips and tricks going from beer to cider? Any books that you read? Any classes you maybe took? Or is it just all trial and error?
Well, I mean, the fermentation's the same, but you're
Okay,
not
yeah.
brewing.
Yeah.
You're fermenting. So you're basically pressing apples as opposed to like, malting or taking grain, throwing it into a mill and then steeping it. Little different science. I mean, you're not dealing with like the protein structure like you have in malt. So you do have to do a couple different things as far as like when the end of fermentation goes and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I had to learn pretty much what wine people know as far as like the science
Yeah.
behind that
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
But once it's pretty applicable. Once you know the brewing stuff, you can probably figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah. Cool.
One thing I noticed about your cider, and early on you said you want to make cider that you can drink and it better be damn good. Was there cider, let's not name a name, but what cider did you not want to make? Were you thinking you didn't want to make that sweet, really?
He knows this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our winter warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They asked me to make it with maple syrup. I mean, I'm not a big fan of maple syrup, but people love maple syrup, so I'm like, it isn't just for me,
Right.
Yeah.
I think people loved it for the most part. But yeah, I don't know. I always thought we could make something better. So last year we changed it to gingerbread cider. So it's going to be a different different version of winter cider.
Okay.
Yeah.
But basically, you're trying to make a drier cider, it sounds like.
We don't make, we make
Absolutely.
so think of what beer's residual sugars are as far as like when a beer finishes out, you still have some cloying sweetness in it. I wanted the same thing and then cider like that. When you
Okay.
guys saw the pasteurizer up there, we're
Yep.
one of the few companies around here, probably in the East Coast, that has a tunnel pasteurizer.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, me
So-
neither. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a game changer for us as far as like we started doing bottles, and the bottles, we had a recall in the beginning because like the bottles just blew up because we didn't know what we were doing as far as the sugar goes.
You're right.
Yep.
And I said, well, there's two options. You can dry it out and have everything taste the same like everyone else's cider, or you can get a pasteurizer, pasteurize it to the sugar levels you want and the sweetness you want, and then bam, you're off and running. Because once you test that in a lab, and we have a small lab that we do our testing in too, and it clears the lab stuff. I mean, it'll stay on the shelf stable, and you'll still get that nice sweetness from actual, sugars that you're using from fruit or other flavorings that are natural, as opposed to using like artificial sweetener or something like that, or stabilizers.
So for people who are not familiar with that, what is pasteurizing and why do it again?
You're basically like gently heating it up to a certain point that kills any kind of bacteria in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's companies that do it with beer. There's a lot of there's two types of pasteurization. You have flash pasteurization, which they would do with the actual liquid before they were doing it, just to clean it. And you can do it at the end like we're doing it in the container. So that's tunnel pasteurization. And that means it's already in the can or the bottle, and once it rolls through that machine, it's ready to go. I mean, it's shelf stable, then nothing else can infect it.
You're killing everything that's inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm curious. You were brought in for cider.
Yep.
But you guys are a brewery and a cider house. So were you itchy to continue to make beer? Or
Well, that's a dumb question.
Yeah. Day one.
There was always talk, even from day one, but we wanted to, we have so many good apples here. And how many trees we have for
About
right now?
50,000 some odd
Oh,
fruit trees.
that's
yeah.
a couple.
Yeah, just
Just a couple.
So if you got the trees and you're going to make hard cider, and we were already growing heirloom apples for that purpose before I got here, so they already had the intent in their mind. They were like,
We're doing cider.
we're doing cider. We're going to use some of these apples. We're going to use this fruit the best we can, and we try to use the fruit in any way we can.
Right.
Timing's not always on our side for that. Like we did the Paradox. You guys tried that
Yeah.
one. Those are Asian pears. We did that last year. Finally got into cans for springtime. We did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're doing rosé with our Chambourcin grapes that we grow. You see the grapevines around where the trellises are. They never used them before. Most of the grapes they had here they thought were like jelly grapes. So
Gotcha.
we had them all checked, and like two varieties are actually wine grapes.
Wow.
And wine grapes aren't super great in this area to grow. I mean,
Right.
but this was one of the better ones, and we could actually make the rosé with that. So that was kind of
Wow.
cool.
That's fun.
Curious. You're more on the sales side of things.
Yeah.
Selling Lookout Farm product and selling the cider. What makes you guys stand apart from those Angry Orchards or even like Artifact or?
I like to focus on that we're small. We're very local. Everything you're drinking, literally, you can come and pick the same apples that you're drinking. So it's a whole different. It's not the same. I feel like as a lot of cideries where they're getting these things trucked in or whatnot.
Yeah.
We're picking them up right here. You can come and pick them yourself. So
That's awesome.
I love the hyper local.
So we got to try your Kolsch, which was awesome. It's
It was fantastic.
cooped up.
Right.
Yeah.
Named after the pandemic.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
And
absolutely.
chicken coop.
Yeah. What are we cracking right now?
This is Paradox, the one we were just talking about.
Yep. So the Asian pear definitely smells great.
Yep. And we did it last year, and we had a little tank failure, which I cried for months, and
Yeah.
it was literally one of the seals failed on the tank and ran all on. I'm sure this happens to every brewer at least once.
Yep.
But when you saw our tanks, 40 barrels, when you have one of those and you're holding the weight behind it, you're not holding the weight behind it for too much longer.
Nope.
So I wore the whole thing. At least I wore it.
Yeah.
It was a fun day.
Yeah. Fun. Yeah.
But then we came back next year to do it with him, and we basically take our peaches, or not our peaches, our pears, ship them to our apple guy. That we don't press anything on site. It's just too much. It's about 35 to
It's a big
45,000.
process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
35 to 45,000 pounds per batch. If we do
Yeah.
a 40-barrel tank,
Yeah.
that'd be a lot of pressing apples for the day. And he took the pears and pressed them on his press, and then brought the juice back for us so we could ferment it.
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys truly have to be seasonal just based upon what you want to make with the farms growing. How do you adapt in the winter when we don't have a great growing season? And Or
You
what
mean
if the
no growing season?
What if the growing season isn't good or something like that? How do you guys adapt?
I mean, I know that. So, like, basically at the end of the year here, once our U-pick season is done too, because we're a whole U-pick orchard as well. So we have about 14 full-time orchard workers who will go out and they'll literally clean
Scour,
off
yeah.
what's left of the trees, and we take it all and we send it to the same gentleman who are the same pack house,
We'll fill like every fermenter.
where literally he cryo storages everything, and then we'll be using it
Gotcha.
throughout. So our apples are we're still using it in the winter, same stuff,
Yeah.
just to get through.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That just gives our listeners an idea of how big this place is and how much product that you guys will use for.
Oh yeah,
It's massive.
Yeah.
pounds of fruit wise. If we have a good year, it's could be as high as 3 million pounds of fruit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whoa. That is a lot of fruits. That's crazy.
Before we get too far, let's crack open a fresh beer and hear a word from our sponsors.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, and cheese.
Not sure where to start? The knowledgeable staff at Beer and Wine Hobby are there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. To learn more about them, check out their website, www.beer-wine.com.
Don't forget to use our promo code Brew Roots for 10% off your online order today. Cheers.
When you got into the brewing operation and to kind of not step aside from cider, I think cider's kind of still, would you say, the bread and butter of the business? You know, what you
Yeah.
guys are known
Yeah.
for?
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
would agree. Yeah.
But the beer stands out itself. What styles did you want to bring to Lookout Farm? Because ciders are a beer that, or a liquid that most people are willing to try. Did you want to keep that in the same vein, or?
Yes and no. I'm not a big fan of fruit beers, but we've done a couple.
Yep.
I like the sours. Like we just came out with a cherry sour. So we have a small, 30 trees, cherry trees in here.
Yeah, they're kind
And
of hidden in the orchard amongst other
it was a
stuff.
good amount. It was like almost 800 pounds of cherries. And I'm like, well, I can't let them go to waste. So we made an awesome cherry kettle sour out of it. This year, it'll be available actually next week or this week. I try to use everything as far as I can for beer, but I think it's more applicable to the cider as far as like flavors go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but using what styles of beer did I bring here?
Yeah.
I mean, I did almost like 150 styles at Watch City for 16 years,
Yeah.
so there was a lot to bring. But I never brought any recipes here. I always had other ideas. I was kind of burnt out even when I left there for doing it for so long. And once I had my mind clear for a year, I was like, ooh, maybe I want to try this. And, I never even made a New England. I didn't even know what a New England IPA was coming back here.
Yeah.
Until these guys were bringing them in all the time. I'm like, and that just, that's like taking everything you knew about a West Coast IPA and just throwing it out the window,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yep.
Exactly.
But now having to embrace that style, is that a style that you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm enjoying making it. It's cool to learn how to do it and stuff like that. And, people seem to appreciate it. It's our number one selling beer, I think.
Absolutely, by far, I think, too.
But I think if you put New England IPA on anything, people are going to
It's
drink
maybe a
it.
number
Well,
one seller.
I think if you put IPA on anything, it doesn't have to be New England. It's IPA,
Yeah.
Session IPA, West Coast IPA, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that New England one. And it's a little bit hazy. They love it.
Yeah.
What's your best-selling cider?
I would say Farmhouse,
Yeah.
our flagship,
Okay.
is
Yeah.
probably the number one,
Yeah.
followed closely by the Barn Burner, the
Okay.
habanero infused
And you-
cider we do.
You mentioned that, and
Yeah.
my introduction to you guys was actually your pumpkin one. I went a couple of years ago to a pumpkin-only beer party, which was the worst party I went to because I got very drunk. And drinking that much pumpkin beer is never good. No offense, yours is
Not
wonderful.
recommended.
But my first introduction was having yours and being like, "This is really good." It's not.
It doesn't have that pumpkin spice.
Yeah, it's
really
actually
in it. It's
pumpkin
very
flavored.
subtle. It's nice.
Well, that's good because there's a lot of
Yeah.
spice in it, though.
Yeah.
But it comes off really subtle.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we do it a little different than you do it in brewing. Most people will chip the pumpkins, put them in the mash or in the kettle, We don't have a kettle or mash for cider, so
Right.
we had to think of some way to do it creatively. We have big ovens here in the farm for the restaurant, so we bake all our pumpkins
Wow.
Yep.
with the spices on them and cider. So we keep the moisture to some point.
Okay.
And then once they start getting out the moisture and the sugar starts to caramelize in it, that's where we're going to get our flavor from.
Yeah.
And it takes about, 45 minutes to an hour to do each tray. And think about how many pumpkins you guys do here. How long
we
a day?
we
Couple
hand cut all
days.
1,300 pounds.
No, one day.
We quarter
In one
them.
day, too?
One
Yeah,
day.
one day. Actually, 3 of us just did it. We cut them all.
Damn.
Cleaned them all
Good
out.
for you guys.
And then the next day was all spreading the spices on them, all that, set it up, and then just baking, standing by an oven for 14 hours of
Yeah.
baking.
And people don't realize that you're doing this in the middle of August when all you want to think
Oh,
about
yeah.
is going to the beach and not think about Halloween, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right, like people think like pumpkin beer. Oh, it's October. They must have just made it a week ago. Nope, they were making it in.
There's no summer
Yeah.
for us. I
No,
mean,
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
have to
this-
enjoy winter sports because for us, everything is like coming at once. And it's
That's-
like we're going up this.
Well, yeah,
we're
the
chugging-
harvest, right? Once it's ready.
Oh yeah,
We're
we're
in
chugging
full
up
Go
the,
time. Yeah.
the roller coaster, and when it hits like June, you're going fast as you can down until you run out.
yeah.
So at this point, it's in the oven. Do you then press them to get that juice out? Or
No,
what do you
they're pretty
do?
soft.
So we literally, I'll take them out of the oven, cool, and then they'll all go into bags. We put them in
Okay.
about 30
Mesh
pound
bags.
Yeah,
mesh
yeah,
bags,
yeah.
and then we literally suspend them right in the tank
those
and
tanks.
just
Oh.
have it just sit in the cider.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Very
noticed when you
cool.
came in there was a tank that had a bunch of strings on
String
it.
Yeah, I did
hanging-
notice
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all the
Those are all
pumpkin just hanging down in
35
there.
pound
Nice.
bags.
And those
Yeah.
hang in there for how long usually?
As long as we
Yeah.
find the flavor,
Yeah.
we
It has
like.
varied
Yeah.
greatly at
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the cool thing
That's
about
cool.
that is, we're using honey to back sweeten it. We're
Yeah.
using actual unfermented juice. We're not using any sulfites.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not using any stabilizers. So we decide when we like the sugar, we put it into the tank, and we literally have to have it either packaged or whatever the next day, and then
Pasteurized.
pasteurize
Yeah.
it within that week.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about your ciders, yours one of the few ciders that I can drink and not get a hangover or get a terrible headache. Is that because you can control like the tannin level of it, or what is the reason that I don't get a
I
headache?
would
There's a
say
lot
it's
of
probably the
theories.
yeast.
Yeah.
The yeast or the sulfites.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
cause
I mean,
stomach.
sulfites are usually in a lot of ciders, or wine. So
Yeah.
I had a real problem with sulfites too when I got here, and I was like, it gave me like a headache, and almost the same effect you get with like MSG.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, we got to do it. And we wanted to keep everything natural when we started here, so we're like, how can we do this? Well, the pasteurizer was the only option. So when we did that, we found out we could do anything we wanted as far as flavor goes, and keep it as natural as you can get it,
Yeah.
and not have to worry about that effect after.
Yeah.
We'd be remiss not to mention what's going on right now in the world with COVID. Obviously, you guys have this beautiful tap room here. You have how many acres of farmland here?
180.
180. I know what you guys did to shift gears, but how has COVID A affected you guys in the business plan, and B, what are you guys doing to kind of be innovative in the world of unknowns?
Well, I was brewing all the way through, so we were like everyone else, scratching our heads. We just finished this part we're actually sitting in right now.
Yeah.
And
Because this was not available last summer.
I don't think we even used it for a couple of events.
I think it was literally like we had it completed for about a month,
Yeah.
and then everything happened, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of been this room
So,
we want to use.
we knew we had the outdoors, so I think their idea was, well, we can do whatever we did here outdoors as long, if the state and all the regulations were cool with it, which they were. They want businesses to still stay in business. He would know more about that logistics than me.
How to turn this into an outdoor operation. So luckily we have that 180
You have
acres that
some
I
land.
mentioned. Yeah, so we could take an entire area and put a bunch of picnic tables and make a giant outdoor restaurant, and it's worked out fairly well for us. It's been going pretty good.
So the restaurant, was that the plan for 2020, or did that get moved up? Was that just
Did you already have the restaurant?
yeah?
No, so
Yeah.
the restaurant is brand new.
Yeah.
This is our sort of pivot, if you will, that I guess you could say. I can't imagine it would change. That this will be the future for us now.
Oh, of
that you would
course.
see that restaurant
Yeah.
kind of every year now.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I guess the question more was like, Did you plan on having it in 2020?
I don't know. It was definitely not a plan.
Yeah.
No, it was. I think it would have been, much smaller based in here, and I don't even know if we would have had the same menu or not. I doubt it. I
It's
probably
amazing.
not.
So I see the
Yeah.
food that's coming out of there on Instagram and everything. You guys are.
Yeah, we
kicking
actually
That's
built
all right.
we built a kitchen in there, but we never even really got to
Yeah,
use
we
it.
were
Now
gonna
they're
use
using
it,
it as a
yeah.
prep kitchen for that thing.
Yep.
Nice.
So funny.
Nice.
What about canning? Did you guys expand your canning and to-go sales?
Oh yeah, so when the whole COVID thing hit, we were just doing curbside, and I was amazed. I'm sure you guys been to so many breweries that I'm just shocked how many people were out and about getting
Yeah.
beer and
The
cider or
support's
whatever.
awesome.
It is
Yeah.
amazing.
Because I would have thought a lot of people would have been like, "Well, screw it, I'm just staying home.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it." Maybe a home brew. I have no idea. Home brew actually went out the window, in my opinion. People just wanted to get out and, at some point.
Homebrewing has been insane, actually.
Is it?
I work
Yeah.
at a homebrew shop. We have been killing it.
Oh, so then
Very
it's good.
busy.
Then it's
That's-
good.
yes.
Two-way, twofold. And I was just finishing up ciders and beers that we had here. It was just a couple of us. Most of the people here were furloughed. I was still on staff. And I'm just getting stuff prepped and done. We still, Ironheart was still running, so we're like, we're still canning. And then it just got busier and busier. And we had some pretty insane weekends here just for curbside.
That's awesome.
Which was, and then when they put the stuff in motion to get the restaurant open, they did it fairly quick. I mean, quicker than anybody around here. So we were one of the first people to open anything like that, too,
Yeah.
when they cleared all the guidelines for it. So that just took off, too. And now we're just, in the last 10 days, I brewed about 155 barrels of beer.
Jeez.
That's insane.
Good for you. That's
Congrats,
awesome for
right?
you guys.
And 80 barrels of cider. So
Yeah.
that's just in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We're very lucky. The community here is really kind of
Sounds like it.
really supports us, so it's great.
Yeah. Is it important, that community aspect, like you just mentioned? Obviously, your farm, parents bring, I remember fond memories of coming to a farm when I was a kid.
Right.
So you get to see all generations, and having a brewery on site must just be so great for a parent to come to after,
A
you
day
pick
of
it.
picking apples.
Yeah, we're going to
Oh,
pick apples and we're going to go drink beer after. Do you see that a lot?
I do. The number of dads that have thanked me just for having an IPA with their screaming child is wonderful.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That's
No,
great.
it's the U-Pick operation has been interesting. How we've pivoted it because you can't. We used to do trains and everything. You'd have to bring the whole kids up, and it'd be a
Yep.
whole thing through the orchard. Now it's literally walk. You have to make a reservation.
Yeah.
The time is
Jeez.
limited because I can only have. We have.
Yeah.
So.
Now,
Yeah.
are you allowed to drink beer while you pick?
So not picking.
That
However,
would be
with our
amazing.
restaurant, we have like a walking trail we put
Yep.
in that's up to a certain point. You can bring your alcohol on that trail.
Very cool.
That's
your drink.
that's pretty great.
Which is
though.
pretty nice. So
Yeah.
drinking
So
in the orchard.
We are
Yeah.
cracking a mystery beer
It
or
is-
cider.
It is just in a can, silver can.
Oh, you
Yeah,
remember the
yep,
mystery
This
beer?
is our So this is the
Just the
cherry
rosé? Oh,
sour.
Oh, great.
Cherry
Great.
sour.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you mentioned that this is these are 800 pounds of cherries that you guys use in kettle soured.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
sure of the variety. Do you know the variety?
I didn't even know there's varieties of cherries. So
Oh,
you don't
God,
need-
yeah.
So
I know there are
I know
sour
like rainier cherries. That's like the only other cherry.
Our
variety.
cider has Bing and Montmorency, I think.
Yeah, I
is
think
it
they're-
called?
that's
yeah.
what they're-
Oh,
Montmorency's.
These
how
are
you
a
say it.
sour cherry. So
Yeah.
it's more of a.
this is very pleasant. This is not like that. You get that feeling in the back of
you
your.
you get it a little bit, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
No.
Not
Yeah.
completely.
No, souring program is you guys are kettle souring right now. I know, probably with cider and brewing. Is there a plan to do any barrel programs with it, or
For sure. I mean, it's just overwhelming even to keep up with our production right now.
course.
I bet.
And, to think of that and having a different facility, because we would need a different facility on site just to do it,
Yep.
keep things cleaner with the, the microbes and stuff
Bugs.
that you need. Yep.
you don't want any
Bugs.
infected breweries? Yeah.
Not to say that, you saw our brewing system. We have the big garage door, and we usually leave it open when we're brewing.
Yep.
Not to say that with all the yeast coming off those
Something
fruit.
has come in.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
mean,
I'm
it's
sure.
it's part of the charm and the whole mystery of when
Spontaneous
you ferment.
firm. Yeah, yeah.
Terroir. if
When
you
you
will.
the terroir, perfect, perfect.
Good job, Erica.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
That's cool.
what was the other question? Or what the question said?
Just
I
more
guess-
barrel program
yeah.
and all
Oh
that.
yeah, definitely plans to do it. We've done it on small scales, like with just experimental stuff. Even with ciders, we actually did a Brett cider that was really cool.
Fun.
We had it at the last Funk Fest, they had
Yep.
it there in Walpole.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was fun. It's just you can't go full bore on that unless you have like a space for it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And let's just take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsors.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brew Roots sent you.
This week's episode would not be possible without our amazing sponsor, Shirts on Tap.
Each month, they team up with breweries from across the country and create a custom shirt and deliver it to your doorstep, along with stickers and coupons.
Sign up today using the promo code BrewRoots for $5 off your first box.
Head on over to shirtsontap.com today. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts.
Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
And again, just to kind of reiterate here, how long has Cider and Beer, like at what year? Like
Oh, okay. So cider, like I said, was March of 2015. We got it in the stores.
Yeah.
2017, I was contract brewing at Castle Island once we got our license.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we were selling beer for a year. I was brewing out of there. We were literally bringing it back in stainless steel cubes to put into
God,
our
was that
fermenters.
fun?
That sounds awful.
That was always a fun day.
Oh, man.
They weighed about,
They
I'd
were
say about
heavy.
1,500 pounds
Oh
full.
my god. Yeah.
Oof.
And we move them with pallet jacks.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You
And
weren't
10
moving
guys
it.
pushing the pallet check. Yes.
Wow.
You don't miss that, I'm guessing.
No, God, no.
Yep.
No.
Yep. So is there plans to expand then?
Sure, there's always plans to
Yeah.
expand. I
Okay.
think we got caught kind of off guard, but I caught up a little bit. This, like I said, with the amount of beer
Right.
that we're making now. But we are definitely at our brink of what we can do with beer and cider for So there's definitely talks of expanding it for some capacity.
Yeah. Cool.
I always find it interesting. You mentioned that the owners of the farm, the family was the
Belkin family. owns
yeah
it.
the do they have really any say on what ciders are made, or are you kind of just
Oh,
like
everyone does. I mean, I think
I just how does it get
Everyone
decided what
gives their
cider?
no, I mean, it's basically input from we want more people to even be involved. Like as far as like, hey, you work here, you love doing this, you love your ideas are important too. So it's incorporating whatever anyone comes up with an idea. Like the gingerbread cider came up basically because we started doing gingerbread houses like here so people could decorate them
Decorating for kids. Yep.
when we had the tap room open,
Yeah.
and it just seemed like the right, I don't know, to me in my mind, and other people suggested it too, that we should make the winter gingerbread
Yeah.
cider, and I'm like, oh, perfect, because I hate the maple one.
That's what it was.
I won't say I hate the maple one, but
He hates it.
I just hate how I approached it, and like I want to make it better if I have to do it
Yeah.
again. So
yeah.
I'm just not a fan of maple. I'm sorry, I can't like everything.
How can you be in New England and hate maple? God.
Do you guys do any hop ciders? I know you guys are growing hops right now.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Hop ciders, that thing you guys are.
We actually just came out with our 16-ounce format, so everything went from 12-ounce cans.
That's
for
right.
cider.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
And we just did hop up. So that was one of our first core ciders that we did.
Nice.
It's got El Dorado and Mosaic hops in it.
Cool.
Nice.
And with the balance of the honey and the back sweetening of the juice that we use in it and type of apples we use in it, it's got a very flowing flavor from, like when you have an IPA and you get that nice meld into the hops type thing from the malt.
Yep.
So it complements it really well.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of trials with different hops just to see how they work, and those were the two best.
Cool.
You said you're back sweetening with honey. Is that locally sourced honey?
Yep.
Or,
I think most of it's actually our honey.
I was
So we
actually
have
gonna
like
ask,
hives
you
that
have
come
bees
in
here.
early in the season, and literally
out,
we have
that's
hives
awesome.
everywhere.
Yeah.
to pollinate.
Nice. Nice.
why honey? Any pros, cons versus?
I don't know. We discussed it in the beginning. We wanted to keep it on the more natural side. I mean, you could definitely use any kind of sugar, I suppose.
Right.
But we've done a couple with Belgian candy sugars and the different types of sugars. But it just seemed to fit like the whole design of what we were doing as far as the product goes.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of ask what's next for you guys. I know because
Who knows?
Tomorrow might change the
Exactly.
but
we could have a Ferris wheel here next time.
yeah. If you were to cover your eyes and throw a dart at the wall and say what would you like to be next? What would you like to be next for you guys?
I don't know. I mean, we're utilizing the fruit is great, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with the restaurant, if that's their goal too, to do more stuff with it, which I think it is.
Yeah.
Do more something like farm to table dinners with everything involved or something like that. So, not having the kitchen that we have now and the chef that we have now, like that was our whole goal, was to get this stuff going and eventually make a restaurant here or some type of thing that you could
A marriage between the two, almost. Yeah.
I mean, use the products you have here available on the farm too. So he's been doing that with the
With the fruit, definitely. Yeah. So our desserts are all now kind of everything based around any sort of the fruits and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And we do slushies, like everyone loves the beer slushies.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is
The
a trend.
cider slushies are like the most crazy thing
They're
here.
How do you
so
feel
popular,
about?
right?
Can I ask how you feel about beer slushies?
And cider slushies, for that matter.
I've had a couple good ones.
All right.
All right, you don't have to say much more if you don't need to.
I personally, I'm not a person that likes sucking on a glass of ice. I'd rather have a beer.
Yep.
But if people seem to enjoy it, there's some cool ideas, I've already thought of doing in the future with it for what people have liked so far that we've done with it. I'm just 50-50, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the slushies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I like the variety. For me, I just want I want this to continue. I want the farm to continue and just keep it a farm, and that's what it is for me. Is just keeping
Whatever works.
the farm exactly
Yeah,
whatever works to
yeah.
keep the farm going and
Yeah.
stuff, and really keep that. I love the farm.
Yeah. So that's kind of your goal for what you would throw against. Cool.
Yeah, we can always grow different things. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
they used to grow vegetables here. Will we grow them in the future? We don't know. And we talked about growing blueberries here, even for ciders and stuff like that. So there's always discussions of how can we do something different? We got the land to do it. Let's utilize it in the best way possible.
Cool.
One of the hottest trends we see in beer, in air quote, is
Air quotes.
hard seltzers. Is that something that you guys ever dabbled in or ever wanted to dabble in? I see a little chagrin right there.
Well, there's been
Yeah.
talks, but realistically, it would feel like
You're already
just to
doing
break it down, it would feel
cider.
like we're taking from the right hand to put into the left hand a little bit, because I think that cider fills a little bit of that market in
Correct.
a way.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it would be taken away from what we really want to shine, and that's the ciders. So
Yeah, that's a great
But-
way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was this good discussion. We were like, should we jump on the train? But I think what Rich just said, we're making already awesome stuff that is an alternative to that, and
course.
is been around for a long time. Let's promote what we're already doing, and
Yeah.
not try to get
Trying to reinvent something.
well
that you've never really
get
done
something for
before.
everybody in the sense
Yeah.
just because everyone else is doing it.
Right.
That was the other thing too.
That makes sense.
So you guys have sold me on everything that you've
Yeah.
sold. I was already a big
Yeah.
fan of you guys, but I want to get to know you guys just a little bit more and ask some goofier questions.
Sure.
So
All right.
I'm curious, what are you guys drinking at home? That's not really a goofy
That's so
question, but
goofy,
like,
Matt.
what are you guys drinking at home out of a twisty straw? No.
I mean, I'm not a mixed drink person.
Yep.
But I do like scotch, so I would drink scotch on colder nights.
Nice.
I mean, we've even dabbled a little in distilling off-site.
Ooh,
Yeah.
All right.
You know, just like it's
Some
experimental.
oil extracting, if you will.
No, we actually we took farmhouse to a friend of mine distillery down in Martha's Vineyard, and we actually we took old kegs that were higher percentage alcohol and dried out, and just distilled them to make a brandy, just a small batch of it.
Nice.
So it tasted pretty good. So I mean, I like Calvados, so I would definitely be interested in something like that. Like if I'm at home.
That's cool.
There's a reason that we work so well together. I am also a bit of a Scotch guy at home.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice. Do you have a go-to scotch?
No, I'm not particular about it. I like all the single malts.
Yeah. Very
yeah.
good.
I'm
Peated,
kind of the
heavily
same,
peated
yeah.
Scotch. Is that-
Ooh,
Yeah, I would
peated
say I'm the
scotch.
same
All
way.
right,
Ice or
all
no
right.
ice?
I'm a no ice. I
No
actually have
ice.
stones. I do a stone.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, no ice.
Yeah. Guilty pleasure beer.
Guilty
Or cider.
pleasure beer.
Or cider, yeah.
Like one that you wouldn't catch me drinking in a crowd of brewers.
Right.
I mean, they
Or
might
with
be.
a
They
crowd
might
of brewers, I don't know.
People say like Miller High Life a lot,
Or
and we get a lot of
Corona.
high fives for that. So like,
I like Miller High Life and I like Paps.
yeah.
Pops is great.
I drink a lot of Miller High Life too. I would say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you done the Miller High Life with Aperol?
No.
Oh well,
No.
you have to stop for a
Try
local
it.
packy and get Aperol after
Yeah.
work. It's called a spaghetti,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
It
I'll
is
have to
the-
try that.
No, I haven't.
one of the best drinks I've had. Shout out to Mike
Hands
who
down.
told us about it. Yeah. Do you have a perfect beer and food pairing?
Beer and food. Not really. I mean, I cook a lot at home, and that's where I get a lot of ideas for even ciders or beers here.
cool.
So,
Cool.
I did build like one of my dream kitchen because I redid my house. So I made it so it was more not industrial, but more higher end, I would say. But so I like everything, but I mean I like spicy food with some of the weirdest pairings too. So I don't really follow the guidelines of what people have written about.
That's cool. Yeah. Experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say probably a nice ice cold Bohemia and some tacos.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tacos are always a great choice.
Yeah.
Tacos are great. Solid choice.
What's the best advice you guys have gotten in the brewing industry over your career?
Best advice from other people?
Yeah.
Oh god, there's been a lot.
What's the worst advice? No, I'm
Ask
just
for
kidding.
and not ask for, right?
They told me not to do it, first of all. I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one to answer, I think. Because it's more specific. If you were...
Well, maybe is there something that you would pass on to someone else, some good advice you'd give to someone else?
Well, I mean, the cleaning is like the issue that I stress here, and every other good brewer does too. It's like you're not going to make anything good unless you know how to clean, and we are basically glorified janitors. But
I can attest
Heard
that I
that
saw
before.
you drop a gasket, and you literally sprayed it, and like I was like, he used a lot of sanitizer.
yeah, I mean, but even with like scrubbing stuff, like the pasteurizer you saw running,
Yep.
that will get scale over time. So we take the whole thing apart, clean it, tanks, everything. It gets really moisture heavy in there. So you can get a lot of like stuff growing on floors and stuff like that. So you got to keep it clean.
I'd probably piggyback on that and say, yeah, if you don't like to clean, this isn't the industry for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Done and done.
Yeah.
because you can make a mediocre or even something that you're experimenting with, but it's going to go really bad if you don't pay attention to those details too.
Yeah.
So that was always the key thing that people told me. They're like, and always when you're making recipes, like you're always tweaking them too, no matter how many versions you've done of it. Like the one thing we do with I know like people like have go to other breweries, they have like 9 New England IPAs. I'm like, we thought let's just make one awesome recipe and
Just
change the
one.
hops every time.
like a rotating series almost.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
So we just keep it less complicated, and people they can ask about the can code in the bottom, and find out which hops are. It's usually 2 or 3 hops, but seems to make it more interesting for us that way and easier too.
Cool.
Not to have 40 of them in
Yeah.
cold storage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to backtrack for a second here.
Backtrack all you want.
So you're brewing beer and making cider. Are you using the same tanks for this kind of thing, or do you use certain tanks?
No, we use separate tanks. For
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You don't want cross contamination reason. Or
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Sorry. Fun fact.
No,
Anyways.
that's cool. Ryan, you got anything, my
Yeah,
friend?
my question is, what do you two want to learn more about either in running a business or brewing?
I mean, brewing is like I'm on so many of those. What do they call them? They're not
Forums?
not wiki things, but now they're on Facebook.
Groups.
Yeah, whatever. Like there's a sour group and there's
Threads.
Yeah.
I do a lot of home food fermentation, so
Cool.
I'm making like pickles, and I got these guys making pickles now.
Nice.
Isn't it the
Nice.
best?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I make kefir, whatever they call, however you say it.
Kefir, or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, you know, I know what you're talking.
kombucha. I've done a lot of
kombucha.
kombuchas. And we've done experimental kombuchas here with cider too. So,
Cool.
Nice.
With the SCOBY, that looks gross,
yep.
but it's
Oh, my wife hates it sitting on the counter. She goes, "It's looking at me."
it's alive. You just have to tell it's like having a fish.
So fermentation
Yeah.
is alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done like crazy amounts of pickles. I've been doing a lot of green beans this.
Ooh, nice.
So lacto fermented
nice.
stuff like that.
Have you gone into pickled eggs yet?
Nothing like it. Nothing that I gotta like. What do you call it? Like pasteurize or like canning. Like traditional canning.
Yep.
No, I keep it like more of the lacto on your countertop fermentation type
yeah.
of thing.
Nice.
We're all fermentation geeks here. In the same way, I ferment everything at home that I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for your gut.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Those
But,
probiotics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What would you like to know more about?
I literally I'd love to learn more about the fermentation
Okay.
process and
Yeah.
that kind of whole
Yeah.
thing. And I'd love to get into sours and see that happen and expand here and stuff because I think that would be awesome. And things we could do honestly, I'd love to have a cool ship here and be able to do like just
You guys
the
should
terroir
totally
we could
have a
get.
cool
And
ship. Yeah.
We could be the
Yeah.
first in
We do,
Massachusetts, right?
right?
Yeah.
We do have a tank that's in another building. It's actually
Well,
buried in there right
Bring
now.
that bad boy over here.
But when I was up there just perusing through the equipment, I'm like, because they had made some effort here to make wines before.
Okay.
So they had a couple stainless steel tanks up there. One was it was a flat tank with louvered doors on it. So about 1,100 gallons from what I measured in it.
All right.
Basically, I'm like, yeah, just cut it off they kind of bolted it to the building, and we'll put it on the back of a truck and just wheel it in and out of the
Yes.
brewery when we ferment stuff and
Yes.
like
Yeah.
put it into another
That is
building.
your winter project.
If things slow down for you.
Please slow down,
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
If you can breathe a little bit.
I'll get more people.
Yeah, exactly. Very cool.
Well, thank you guys for doing this. We really appreciate you
Yeah,
spending
no,
some
thank
time
you.
to do this
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, of course.
But we want people to come.
Well, one last question.
What's the last question?
My last question.
Yeah, you asked that at the end though. After
Oh,
Yeah.
after your part? Oh, sorry.
Let's
I
redo
forget
that.
sometimes.
we're gonna redo that.
Are we?
Yes.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for doing this today. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your day. I know things are busy here at the farm, like crazy. Like I see it on Instagram, and we saw it first person here,
First person.
we-
In person. And first person, I guess.
and I
Is that the
guess
same
yeah,
thing? I don't
whatever.
know.
But I want people to come to Lookout Farm at a social distance and responsibly. But where are you guys physically located? And then where are you located on the interwebs, so we can have people follow you?
We are located in Natick, Massachusetts, and lookoutfarm.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very
on
cool.
what social mediums?
So we're on
Mediums.
Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, all the different,
Yeah.
Cool.
Not MySpace, right?
No more
Yeah,
MySpace.
no more MySpace.
Damn.
Sorry, we just want to make sure.
That's my number
We're gonna
one.
find a brewery. I'm
I hope
telling
not.
you, we're gonna
We
find
are.
one.
We'll keep asking.
Yep. And now for
Oh, now
Erica's
my question, yeah.
best question ever.
What are you guys most proud of? None of those open-ended episodes you would like.
Most proud I made a career out of this. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years. Actually, next year.
That's pretty
so
great. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I like I told you, I sat behind a desk for 2 weeks. Said I don't think I can do this forever. So I have to do something either creative, or I was going to do something more on the outdoors side. Even be a park manager or something like that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be in a building.
Right.
But I am in a building, but at least has a
It's
door to
different,
the
though.
farm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're always creating every day. So
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I'm most proud of, that I get got a career that I could create something cool every day.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm going to follow suit with that, and
Oh,
I would
you
say
guys
no,
are ridiculous.
I know we're terrible. So I also love that the career I'm in. I'm just very proud of like this business and this industry. I love the people, and it's
Yeah.
If you aren't in it, trust me, you want to be in it.
Cool.
If you like to clean.
Yes.
If you like to clean.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I think the people that in this beer industry, and you guys can attest to this, are resilient, but they're also very communicative as far as
Definitely.
like sharing ideas and stuff like that.
The best
Just
community
a
to be
big
involved in.
community. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I came from retail where, people were not friendly
guys didn't
sharing
share your
ideas.
secrets?
Exactly. So it's nice to see that.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Well, we're going to enjoy more beer and cider right now, and you guys can be jealous out there in podcast land.
Yeah.
And
I'm jealous.
we'll catch you guys for our next episode.
Cool.
Cheers.
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 All right. Well, if you made it this far, you know what that means. Ryan's going to tell us all a secret.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, we knew that. But we do have some exciting news for you guys coming up next week. Are we ready to hype it this week?
Maybe.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think we should. But we do want to thank Lookout Farm for coming on the podcast this week. Aaron and Rich, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to do this. We drank so much cider and so much beer with you, and you guys were so hospitable. So
The nicest guys.
honestly,
No, they were really cool.
yeah, and beautiful, beautiful location. I cannot wait to go out there with my girlfriend and pick some
Ooh.
apples. Yeah,
That's
it'll be
cool.
Really nice.
Yeah.
That's cute.
It is cute.
Cute.
But if you want to help us out in one way, what's the best way that our listeners could help us out?
Please share an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell your friends, but also like share it on social media. We just love seeing that.
Tell your mom or
Yeah.
your dad, because they love to share things.
Yeah.
You don't even want to see what they share on social media. They'll share our podcast. That's okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
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 So we have an awesome episode lined up for you guys next week, and we can't wait to share it with you. So
Until next week.
Until next week.
Cheers.
I hate the outros now. I used to do them so well.
You don't do it right.
You don't do it right. I'm Erica, and I'm here to tell you that you need to listen to next week's episode. Oh boy. All right.